How's it going, everybody? It is a beautiful, fantastic, sunny, bright, warm, oddly late fall, warm day in coastal Maine, and I can't wait to talk about some of the cool stuff with the Tesla Model Y. So we're going to be talking about everything that's different from the original Tesla Model Y that I had, which was a 2020, versus what you have now with 2022. This is on the heels, or on the toes, I guess, of any changes that are coming in 2023. So sit back, relax. You guys are watching The Tall Tesla Guy. So you guys know, you guys have been watching the channel for a while, and I appreciate that. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. That originally I had a 2020 Tesla Model Y. It was about a 30K VIN number, so it was one of the early numbers, which was about June or July of 2020. Everything was great. We had a great experience, great delivery experience. There were a few minor flaws on the car. We noticed a couple of gaps that were a little bigger than maybe I thought they should be, a couple of paint defects, but I came into this thinking that that's just what happens with Teslas. Unfortunately, in spite of the cost of the vehicle, there were some production manufacturing issues that Tesla was working through in their plants that was causing some of these, things to come about that were within spec, that, as they called it, but it was defects, and it made you feel uncomfortable spending the amount of money you spend on the car. Well, it didn't bother me too much. I used them in videos, stuff like that. I didn't have anything glaring. There wasn't water leaking in the roof. It didn't fly off, anything like that. It was just some minor things. But what I can say is between 2020 and 2022, when we got our new one, now we ordered it in July of 2021, but it took us about 6 months to get it. This is the one I'm currently driving right now. And it came in February of 22. And I can say the difference between my original one and this one is night and day. Night and day. Now, not just build quality, right? I didn't notice any paint defects. I didn't notice any major gaps or anything like that. Nothing on the side, in fact. It was only little things that you don't really see. A couple of, you open up the doors and you look in the back corner, you can see maybe an area that didn't have as much paint on it, maybe didn't have the clear coat. But honestly, like, I combed the car over. It was delivered to my house. I combed it over and I didn't see anything. So right off the bat, I thought it was fantastic. So whatever they did to retool their process, to refigure it out, they did a great job. It was great. It was fantastic. On the other hand, I looked at other things that the car had. The car was the difference between this one. So outside of manufacturing things, I looked for other stuff that was different on the car, and there's been a ton, right? So we have things like auto dimming side mirrors. We have new designed headlights that give you a little bit better flow. The technology on the car is different. Now, I'll add an asterisk with that one. The technology came with an over-the-air update, because honestly, it had the infotainment screen just the same, but they reorganized all of it. They changed it all around, which actually made it great, and I love the new design and features of it, all that kind of stuff. But everything else in the car, from the sub-trunk to the front to the panoramic glass roof, all of that is identical. Same as what we had before. I did notice that the center console has changed. It doesn't have the flip-up door anymore. It's got the slide door. That came with not just so much an update, but it came at the end of last year anyway, so I did get that with the car. There's a couple of other features. I know they took off radar. They're adding Tesla Vision. I have all the normal features that the car has. I have the parking sensor still. I know if you buy it now, you won't get it. I also got a charging cable. You guys are going to notice if you go out there and buy a Tesla today, you're going to notice that it does not come with a charging cable. You need one, honestly. Anybody that tells you that you don't need one is either lives next to a supercharger or doesn't care. I charge it at home every day. Every night, and that's what the charging cable works for. When I go on road trips, sure, I don't need it. I use Tesla supercharging network. I have a CCS adapter that I can use for any other EV charging one, if it's a level 2 charger or anything like that. And then of course you can plug it into a 110 outlet anyway. So, I mean, but you need the cable, honestly. So first off, you're gonna need the cable. But outside of that though, the car itself is pretty similar, but there's a couple of, outside of that, the car itself is pretty similar. But one thing I did notice is the interior noise They put some trim around the doors. Now, people used aftermarket stuff to do that before, but they include it now. It's got trim around the doors, and it makes it a really quiet cabin. I don't have the active noise cancellation that you see on the Model S or on the Model X or anything like that, but it's so much quieter inside the cabin. And then the ride, the suspension, it's I know it's not an air ride suspension either, but they did stuff to soften it up, and I know that's not the technical term, but whatever they did, it was great, because it's a much smoother ride. Myself, I liked it before anyway. My wife noticed it as well, that she thinks it's a smoother ride. I mean, I noticed it when I'm filming and stuff like that. It's just great. But I can say, you know, coming into 2023, they're changing the technology around a little bit. They're changing some of the stuff with, you know, Tesla Vision, full self-driving capability, all of that kind of stuff. So all of that is set to come on the horizon anyway. But either way, I just wanted to give you guys a quick rundown or a quick overview of some of the differences that I saw between my original one and this one. And then coming into 2023, it's going to be amazing. You're not going to notice it on the outside like normal, like you see with normal, like traditional gas vehicles. Well, they'll change the styling, all that kind of stuff. Tesla doesn't really do that. They also say that they don't have model years, which I know that they don't, but there was some slight changes that you got between them, and they corresponded almost with calendar years anyway. So people are calling them model years whether or not they want you to. And I noticed that those differences come in typically at the end of the year. I don't know why, but either way it does. I'll say also that in some markets around the world, they lowered the price of the Tesla Model Y. I haven't seen it yet in the United States. I looked at the Tesla website the other day. It was still at about $65,000 for the Model Y, which is higher than I paid for when I bought this one. But you know, keep an eye out for that, because when they drop it down, they're probably going to move it up quickly. If you were thinking of pulling the trigger and you wait for something like that and you get it, jump on top of it. They also supply and demand kind of thing, and then they're also doing stuff within their system, within their programs, to take full advantage of the EV tax credit should it actually come through. I don't know if it's going to or not. They say that it's going to, but you know, that's still up in the air. It's been up in the air for 5 years now, and who knows if it's actually going to happen. If it does, though, the Tesla Model Y is actually considered a SUV, which gives it a higher cap in price. So the Tesla Model Y at the current price, even if it's 65, it will still cover for the 75. Now, I know that Teslas don't have unionized workers, all that sort of stuff, so they don't get the full credit, but the majority of the car itself is produced in the United States, if not all of it. The battery itself was produced overseas in different areas, but Tesla's actually retooling some of their factories to accommodate the 4680 battery that they're looking to have and they're looking to run with, and it would be produced and assembled completely in-house, which would give Tesla the opportunity to take full advantage of the, you know, in-house, I guess, you know, production and creation of the car, which would honestly give it the most credit, EV credit, that you could get, which I think would give it right around $7,500, which would bring the cost of the Model Y down to in the 50s, upper 50s. If that's in your range, I'd say go for it. It's going to be an amazing thing. It's going to be, you're going to love the car. I've loved it ever since I got it. My wife loves it. And she was skeptical to start with anyway. So it's an amazing drive, and I certainly love the vehicle going into 3 years. Either way, guys, everybody, I really appreciate you tuning in. I really appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoy some of the scenery, some of the beautiful day that's going on out there. I hope you guys have the opportunity to throw a smile on your face and enjoy the warm weather if you have it, or whatever weather you have going on there, and that you can maybe laugh a little bit. So either way, hope you guys have a great day, week, month so far, and it continues to be fantastic. Thanks for watching, and stay safe out there.